Welcome, everybody. Hello, hello. So good to see you all. Lots and lots of familiar faces, some new faces. Who have we got? Hi, Bob. Lovely to speak to you earlier. Hi, Helen. Hi, Katie. Trudy is here. Hello, Jill, my darling. Charlotte is here. And we've got Heather, Claire, Maria, Denise, and Charlie. That's the ones I can see so far. A warm, warm welcome to you all. So there's just one thing that I want to do on my slides. Bear with me before I start sharing. And we'll talk about logistics. But for now, it's only a small group. Please do feel free to come on the camera, come on the microphone. You're very welcome to leave. Who's ringing me now? My mum and dad. Oh, it's the bloody way, isn't it? Mum and Dad, I'm on a call. I'm working. Let me just turn on Do Not Disturb. I'm sure it's nothing urgent. If it is, they'll ring one of the kids. Yeah, Do Not Disturb is on. I got my slides. Yeah, feel free to, if you know you've got no background noise, feel free to turn on your microphone because I like to encourage a lot of engagement on these calls. It's a lovely little group. Just think of yourselves as all being in one room together, just like the old days. Yeah, one day perhaps I'll do these in person and we'll meet somewhere a little bit central. And, we could do, if I get a bigger group, I'll definitely go on stage. Maria, your battery's too low to have the video on. No problem, lovely. It's lovely to have you here. And of course, Claire, no problem at all. Just listening in. You're all very, very welcome. It's all very informal. There was one thing I wanted to do on my slides. So just bear with me a second, because otherwise I'll forget to mention something. Put one slide in here. Can I do that? I don't think I can do that. So I don't want to stop it now and edit my slides. What I want to do is I want to ask you at the point where I'm talking about healthy swaps, I've got another picture for you, okay? So you'll have to remind me. So I've got just at the last minute, I thought, oh, I know, I've got this picture that's a nice healthy swaps. Thank you, Maria. That's very kind of you. In fact, I'm going to step back a minute. I'll show you what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my Halloween costume. I loved wearing it so much yesterday that I thought, hey, hell, I'm going to wear it again for the talk. I know you probably wouldn't have, I would have got away with that, wouldn't I? And so there we go. Also, I'm down my log cabin. Who have we got? Ellen is coming in. I'm down my log cabin, and I'll give you a little quick. That's the girls' side. And then behind those curtains is the boys' side. He's got all his Blu-rays, projector, big screen. And then we got the pool, we got a pool table. Yesterday, I had 11 teenagers in the house. I had 6 down here with all the boys. They had the pool table out. They had pizza, a health coach, and I'm cooking pizza for 11 teenagers. I only do that when they have get-togethers, and sometimes I do a bolognese or a chili, and they're like, oh, don't go around to Sean's house, you get health food. But this time we got them all pizza. Well, I didn't order pizza, I cooked them all pizza. So, and then at the other end of the house, we had Ruby with her female teenage friends. So between them, we had a big house full. So the reason I'm waffling is because people are still joining. So let's just see. Yeah, everybody. Yeah. I can see the chat. Can everybody see the chat? Because it is a really nice space to just comment and share while I'm chatting. It's lovely if you can do that. Hi, Ellen. Lovely to see you. Hi, Angela. Lovely to see you. And at the end, we will do a prize draw, as promised, for everybody who attends, everybody who is here tonight. So what I'm going to do a quick screenshot just so I get your names. And what I'm going to do about halfway through is send Ruby, my daughter, everybody who's here. She's got slips written out already. So she's going to put the ones who are here in a hat. and we will draw the prize winner. And the prize is a 1-hour coaching session with me, which can be on any aspect of your health and well-being. And you'll come away with a lovely plan of action from that coaching session. So that's one lucky prize winner. But in fact, everybody, have you all seen your workbook? And have you printed it? I know not everybody likes to print, and that's fine. You don't have to. You could just record it in a journal, or or type in a note. It's up to you entirely. But at the very end of this, there is a sheet where you can say what your commitment is, what actions you're going to take, so everybody can come away with this. So think of this as your action plan from tonight. But we are here to talk about maximizing your health, your vitality at this time of year when there's a lot of food occasions going on. Would you agree? Yeah, we've just had Halloween, and hands up who had, foods they wouldn't normally have on Halloween. Give us a little wave. Anything you wouldn't normally have? Yeah. Sweets, anything, pizzas. Who wants to share? What's Halloween been like? Charlotte, want to share?
Yeah, as soon as I work out how to unmute myself. Yes. Yeah, so I've got a house full of kids, and we did trick or treating. So I just have this thing about Haribo sweets, like the jelly sweets. Once I start, so if I don't eat them at all, I'm fine. Once I have one, you can forget it. I'm like 3 packets down, and the kids go, "Where's all my trick or treating sweets, Mom?" I don't know.
Yeah, anyone resonate with this? With the sweets, you think, well, I have one, but then before you know it, one turns into many, doesn't it? And then how do you feel once you've had them?
It's not good, really not good. It's so, like, it's hard to describe. It's like a claggy feeling in my mouth. It's like coated in sugar, and I can tell it. My teeth are all furry. It's not pleasant.
Yeah.
But I forget that when I put the first one in my mouth.
We do, don't we?
Yeah.
And the reason we forget is because we've got these two sides to us. And if anyone's been coached with me before, we've got these two sides to us. We've got the healthy long-term objective side. I want to be healthy. I want to feel great. I want to look slim. I want to live long and set a great example to the kids. And then there's this other very real side of us, not to be overlooked, that just wants things right now. And that can be because we're tired, because we're stressed, because it's late in the evening, because we've had a bad day, because sweets are yummy, right? So we've got the short-term wants, wishes, desires, which is in conflict with the long-term very often.
That's definitely where I've been recently. Definitely in that short-term, last couple of weeks.
So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to look at the long-term view. What do we want for our health? And also recognizing the short-term needs, because what happens is if you go on a typical diet, I'm not going to name any, but I did them all. What happens is they ignore this side, they ignore this, and they just go, oh, ignore that, just do that. And that's supposed to work. But actually, there is a whole side to you that wants short-term wins. We want sweet stuff. We want to be full. We don't want to cook. We look at food. We see it. It looks delicious. We want to party. And so it's very, very real, these needs. And so the way I coach is very much, this is important too. And when we can find ways to satisfy these needs that aren't so unsupportive. You won't hear me saying good foods or bad foods. You might hear me saying non-foods, but generally speaking, you choose what you want to eat, but you know which ones support you. And so this one tends to go for the unsupportive foods. This one tends to go for the supportive. But when we can start to look at the needs on this side, as well as this side, and get these two sides of ourselves talking to each other, then we have conscious control and more wisdom. I always think of it as that we're doing this kind of work, exercising the wisdom muscle. And so that's what this is all about. And we're going to get into that this evening, a little bit of that, but we're also going to have some fun as well. So my darlings, thanks for sharing. Charlotte and everybody, do feel free to just jump in. You don't have to turn your microphones off unless there's, obviously background noise. Logistics. Has everybody got themselves a glass of water or something that they like to drink? If you haven't, please go and get it now, because we like you to stay hydrated. You won't miss anything if you go and refill your glass now. And anytime anyone says water or drink, we're going to drink. That's my little drinking competition for you. I challenge you to do that on your own Zoom calls. Anytime somebody says drink, or tea or coffee, yeah, you're going to drink some water. And I've got a little refill here. Right, I'm going to refill mine. So that's water. Logistics are, you're very welcome to jump in. Don't worry about leaving questions to the end. Just stop me, use the chat. And I am recording this for replay. Now, I always try and remember to spotlight myself. There we are, spotlight myself. So that when I'm recording, the theory is it should just record me and my slides. But what I can't do is I can't stop it recording your voices when you ask questions or answer questions. So is everybody cool with me when I record, when I share the replay, it might have your voices in it. Is everyone cool with that? Excellent, thank you. So I'm going to share the replay. I try not to edit it because it takes hours editing. So I try and just go chop, send, So if anybody's got any concerns at all about that, and because I want you to be able to share, I want you to be able to share openly what's going on for you. So I want you to feel like you're in a safe space and that you can share without worrying about somebody finding out, hearing about your story. So that's recording. What else do I need to tell you before we kick off? Yeah, so I'm going to give you as much value as I can in the next 45 minutes. And then at the very end, I will mention how, if you want to take your health journey further, you can work with me on my Eat Well, Feel Great 90-day challenge. But I'm going to leave that to the very, very end because I've promised you lots and lots of value. And I really want you to take lots and lots of value away. Whether you decide to work with me or not, what I want for you is to get some really good stuff out of this evening. So, and then we'll do the prize draw. Right, so let me start by sharing my slides. And where's that window thing gone? Share screen. I'm going to share my Canva audience window. So can you let me know, can you see my slides?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And can you see my slides and nothing else?
Yeah.
Just the slides window.
Just some small, tiny faces. That's all at the bottom of my.
Oh, and you can see the faces of the other people in the group as well. Winner. That's great. And so, and you can still see me, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob. That's brilliant. Because there used to be a glitch in Zoom where that didn't happen. So I always like to check. So what you'll see on my first slide, I like to think of, this is my quote, if you like, the greatest gift you can give your family and the world is a healthy you. Do you like the sound of that? What a gift that is, not just to ourselves, but to those around us. So I hope that is the way you feel about it as well, because that's certainly the way I feel about it. Just for those who don't know me, I'm just going to have a quick look at my participants list. Yeah, there's a couple of people I've never met before. Welcome, Trudy, I've met you online. Welcome, Priscilla, I don't think we've met. Karen, Denise, Julie, I'm not sure if we met, but for anyone that doesn't know me, I'm just going to give a quick intro to who I am and what the hell I'm here for. So, I'm 52 now. This is an old slide. Turned 52 in August. mum to 2 teens, got a lovely hubby. It was relatively new, ladies. It was an upgrade. Love life. Some of you might have seen that I spent a whole month on the island of Kefalonia in October. It's a thing that I've started to do. It means freedom to me. It means focus time. It means me time. It means health and friends. This time I had a couple of dear friends come out and join me, and we had a lot of fun. And it also gives my family a break from me, because I can be a right pain in the arse sometimes. And so it works really, really well for us. But that idea of just enjoying life to the full, not putting it on hold. I'm not waiting till I'm retired to do all the things that I want to do. And now that I've found this kind of new zest for life, this new health, I'm doing more and more of it. A little picture of a motorbike there. I love to ride motorbikes. And that's my little Greek island. So my certification, I'm certified WILDFIT coach. It's about food, relationship, health. I'm not a nutritional therapist. So don't, I won't give you specific food solutions for specific problems, because what we're talking about is a general level of healthy eating that everyone can do, okay? That everybody could be, I don't want to use the should word, that everyone could be doing. So it doesn't need that fine tuning at this level. I'm just a food relationship coach. What have I been before? Before I was this, I'm also a choir leader, obviously from Wales. You can probably tell from my accent. Singing is huge for me. I've been leading choirs for 10 years. And then before I started this journey, I was first career was in medical physics, clinical science. And then I was an IT consultant in Cardiff University for 20 years. And now on this new line of work that I've been doing for the last 3 years now, I've guided 150 people to a healthier lifestyle. And we'll learn more about that at the very, very end. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my story, but I'm going to keep that short. What I want to hear is your health concerns. Perimenopause comes into this a lot. Joint stiffness, brain fog, sleep disruptions. Just to demonstrate, hot blushes, etc., right? So perimenopause might be a thing. Emotional eating might be a thing, and let's talk about how I can support you. So a little bit about me, my history, and just life and soul of the party. But the problem for me was weight gain, and I love to eat and I love to drink, and I just was always had a great time around food, holidays, and I didn't have what I thought was an unhealthy relationship with food. I don't think like I used to have, like beat myself up with food or hide my food. I didn't have any of those big, I didn't have any trauma around food, but it was more party for me. So this particular masterclass about food occasions, celebrations, looking forward to Christmas is very close to my heart, because that's what food was for me. It was celebration and socializing. But of course, the downside of all that was this slippery slope effect. This kind of, like Charlotte said, once you start, you can't stop. And I would get a lot of that. That was always a problem for me, because I used to say, well, I will enjoy this party or enjoy this Christmas, and then I'll just get back on my diet, right? Nah, never worked for me. It would take me months and months to recover from a Christmas or a holiday. And actually, I never fully recovered. And so each year, the weight crept on. But that's just weight. What I didn't know was the lethargy, feeling bloated and stiff and achy joints. Oh my goodness. I used to tell everybody, I'm so stiff and achy. What is it? And nobody could tell me what it was. And it turns out that it was as a result of the way I was eating, was causing inflammation in the body. And I always do the ring test now. If my rings are loose, I'm good. I don't have inflammation. Does anybody get tight rings when they've eaten the wrong things? Anyone ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed swollen ankles on holiday? Sometimes we think, oh, it's just the heat. actually, it may well be the heat, but it's also a lot to do with the way we're eating as well. So inflammation. And I didn't know that inflammation was related to what we were eating. And the weight went up and up and up, and I felt desperate. And dieting for me was not the answer. And I think everybody's starting to realize, okay, some diets can work short term, but it wasn't the answer for me. And it's not the answer for many, many people. One of the problems with dieting is that it requires a lot of willpower, right? Who's ever been on a diet? A typical, yeah, most of us, right? It requires a lot of willpower, doesn't it? Who's got a lot of willpower? I certainly didn't. And some people do. The ones that do can get on with a diet, maybe for a few weeks, maybe even for a few months. But willpower always runs out. And I didn't have any to start with. So, and the other problem with dieting is it ignores all the psychology that's going on, the kind of thing that we've just been talking about, right? It ignores this. And so then we fail. And then we feel guilty because we haven't lost weight, and we've been to the check with the weigh-in and we haven't lost weight. And we think, oh, I could do better. And it's bloody miserable, right, ladies? Dieting's bloody miserable because I can't have this and I can't have that. And it's just like, you don't want to live your life like that. So what do? We decide to pack it all in. I'm not going to bother with this anymore. I'm going to be fat and happy. And then, of course, we are for a little while. And then we think, oh, God, I've really got to do something about my weight and my health. So we're in this vicious cycle. So I want to tell you the dieting is not the answer. Oh, just the little quote at the bottom. You don't fail diets, my darlings. Diets fail people. Diets fail us. And they are designed for you to need to keep coming back for more all the time. And they're designed to sell you diet products and books. So a revelation that I found exactly 3 years ago now. It was 3 years ago in the August of lockdown. I stumbled across what I thought was a new diet, but it wasn't. It was actually an education in food and how we would be eating naturally. And it was just, I thought, well, I'm going to give this a try because this seems to answer all the questions for me. It didn't require willpower. It was about eating in a more natural way. Along lines of the way our bodies were designed to eat. And that when you start eating in a more natural way, not only does weight come off as a side effect, but what you get back is wonderful health and energy. So it wasn't like a new gimmick or a new diet, but it was a complete relearning of how to eat with lots of natural, beautiful, healthy, vibrant, tasty, delicious foods. And I'd love you to contrast that slide with the next one, which is probably more familiar. So if you have a look at how, go back to the other one, right? That's how we evolved to eat. Delicious, fresh, natural foods, right? That's how we're eating today. It's a stark contrast, isn't it? And that explains why we are feeling so rubbish all the time, because we're putting foods in our bodies that we didn't evolve to have to deal with. The amount of sugar that we are packing in, we're not doing it. I mean, yeah, okay, if we had a few sweets, that's our choice. But there's the part of it that we don't choose. And that is the sugar that the food manufacturers put in our food without us asking for it. Thank you very much. There's sugar in absolutely everything in this picture. This is just a typical supermarket aisle. I think you've probably got some packets of ready-made food. Maybe it's cereal. Then you've got some drinks. There's sugar in every single one of these products. And why? Why would they put sugar in, like a cheese biscuit? Or why would they put sugar in some cereal? Or why would they? And if you have a look at these health foods, we got here a packet of almonds, some butternut squash crackers, and a cereal bar, and some healthy granola. Have you ever noticed how much sugar they put in these things? It's absolutely alarming. And what we do know now, absolutely without shadow of a doubt, that we didn't know in the 80s, because in the 80s, what did we think the problem was? Who wants to tell me? Can you remember?
Fat.
Yeah, fat was what we were told. Go low fat and you'll be healthier. Go low fat and you'll lose weight. Well, it's absolute rubbish. I'm not saying that all fats are healthy. There's healthy fats and there's not so healthy fats. But the problem has been largely sugar. And so what happened to us when we switched from ordinary fats to low fat was the food manufacturers started making the foods tastier by adding in sugar, because they're competing they want us to buy their products. So they just put in sugar in everything. So I challenge you, here's a little mini challenge for you. Go out and have a look at the foods you think are reasonably healthy. What might you choose for a healthy breakfast, or maybe a healthy-ish ready meal, and have a look and see what it says on the ingredients. And so what we do know is the sugar in foods, not to mention the highly processed nature of foods, right, is keeping us stiff and achy, poor digestion, low on energy, poor sleep, and likely to suffer with the longer term diseases. We know this now, and it's sugar. So we're going to talk about some healthy swaps in a bit. That one small change at a time is what I'm going to be talking you through. But when I had this transformation, oh my goodness, my life never looked the same at all. It's just I thought I was there for weight loss, but actually weight loss is right down my list. Yes, I didn't lose 3 stones on the program. I lost like a stone or 2, or like 20 pounds. But actually I'm now maintaining at 3 stones lower than where I was just after I had my kids. So I'm healthily maintaining at about 3 or 4 dress sizes where I used to be. And that just feels lovely. I'm not particularly slender, but it feels lovely to be in this size body compared to how heavy and distressed I felt before. But weight, because it's low down the list for me, because what I didn't know was all the other things: much more energy, reduced cravings, much healthier relationship with booze now. And I used to drink booze every day because that was my fun, and my relaxation. It's what I used to do. I'm sleeping better, as I've said, my stiff joints, that's what that was. Acid reflux. Who gets acid reflux like at Christmas and holidays and that kind of thing? Yeah. And so I would get, every Christmas, I'd have to order in some ranitidine, which you can't order now because it's been banned. But I'd have to get some ranitidine in every Christmas because I knew that as soon as I started eating the Christmas foods, I'd get acid reflux. And it was the same every holiday. And I just thought, it's just the way it is, right? I don't get it now. And I know that acid reflux can be damaging, long-term, can cause long-term damage. So don't let that go untreated if you are suffering with that. But I don't get that anymore. And I don't need to take antacids with me wherever I go now because I know how to eat to avoid it. My allergies reduced. Some of you will now see we got a couple of cats, and I'm still not 100%, but generally speaking, when I eat well, I can keep my allergies to a minimum. My digestion, I've put the word regular. We don't need to go there, but let's just say regular and healthy. And another thing that's a little bit intimate is gas, right? If you're struggling or if you're suffering with windy gas, that it doesn't have to be that way. I thought it was just normal. And of course it's normal to release gas, but it doesn't actually have to be as bad as all that. It's food related, right? I've noticed that artificial sweeteners cause me to be very windy. Artificial sweeteners is one of the things, and so is things like cream. So just interesting, everyone's different. But yeah, the most brilliant thing about this is that I ditched dieting forever. After like 30 years of dieting, no more dieting. I just eat for health now. And do I eat purely for health? Well, those of you who've coached with me, you know that I don't eat purely for health. I still love the treat foods that I love, but the difference now is I'm in control, not the food. And I choose to eat more consciously, and I choose the treats that are really going to enhance my experience, more of a gastronomic delight, if you like. And so just this is a little picture of me more recently, just really enjoying the clothes that I'm wearing, enjoying dressing up, and just not feeling like I need to hide anymore. So enough about me. I would love to know about you, and get your worksheets out, because question number 1 in your worksheet, what is it for you? What's important to you? What are your main health concerns? Does anybody want to share? What are your main health concerns? Who would like to come on the microphone and tell me what concerns them? Is it longevity? Is it weight? Is it chronic aches and pains?
I'd be happy to share.
Yeah, please do.
Well, I'm kind of, I don't know you, Sue, but I know you because I've done your 90 days challenge in June. And I was a bit sort of, not cynical, but I didn't know what to expect really. But yeah, I have had problems with all those things that you mentioned, really. And one thing that I've learned through doing the challenge was that bread and butter are not good for me. And I used to start the day with 2 pieces of toast and some mushroom pate every day for about 10 years. And it was my go-to, you know, like half asleep, just put it in your mouth with a cup of tea. And I stopped doing that now. I'm not eating breakfast anymore. And I'm absolutely fine with it. In fact, I'm so much better than I was. Gluten obviously didn't suit me, but I didn't know that. And I'm, you know, nearly 70. I'm 70 in 6 months' time. So, you know, so to come back to your question, yes, you know, got to take the body in hand, I think. I want to live long. I want to see my grandson growing up. And I wasn't really going in the right direction. You know, I got very much larger than I should be. And the health concerns were beginning to come in, although my energy's always been great, and you know, I've had a wonderful life. So yeah, I have learned a lot and I've really enjoyed it, and that's why I'm here, because I want to carry on getting the benefit of coaching and support and sharing with the group.
Ah, lovely, Barbara. Thank you so much for sharing. And everybody, I didn't plant Barbara in the group to say that. But yeah, and how are you feeling about your health now?
Great. I mean, yeah, I mean, I've lost a stone since June, and I had lost 2 stone before that. And maybe I might have another 3 or 4 that would like to lose, or release, as you say in your system. But no, I feel much, much healthier than I did a year ago.
Oh, it's great to hear that. And yeah, we say the word release when we talk about weight release. It's a nicer way of saying weight loss, because what happens, ladies, when you lose your keys? Where's my keys? Where's my keys? You won't settle until you found them again, right? So we like to use the word release because it feels a lot more like, there you go, excess weight. I release you permanently and forever. So would anyone else like to share what it is for them? What is it they, you know, their main health concerns? You can pop it in the chat. Charlotte?
Yeah, so like Barbara, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with my my internet access, so I think I might have frozen. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, okay. So I thought it was weight loss. I thought my biggest problem was my weight. And yes, I'm carrying more weight than I would like, and I was uncomfortable. But I've had a bit of a moment for the last couple of weeks where I haven't been as on it as I would like. So I did your challenge in June as well. And what I have really noticed is the energy and the achiness. And it wasn't something that I had really realized I suffered from until it went.
Yeah, exactly.
And now it's come back again, if that makes sense. I thought it was, you know, like you said, I'm just getting older and I've got a very young child, and chasing him around is hard work. And I just assumed that was just because I was in my 40s and I've got a 2-year-old. But
Yeah.
actually, doing your challenge, I realized that I could have energy. And now, because I don't want to say fallen off the wagon, because I haven't. There's still a lot of stuff that I'm doing really well, but some of the sweet stuff, some of the sugar has snuck back in, and that has really made a massive difference to how I feel in my body. I haven't gained any weight, but I feel really, yeah. That's the technical word.
You're doing the long-term work, and that you're maintaining and you're experimenting. Yeah. How do I feel when I have so-and-so sweet foods? How do I feel when I include this? Because we want to live, right? We want to live and enjoy foods. And that's what's brilliant about this, is that you can put things to the test. Lo and behold, when I start to eat sweet stuff again, the aches and pains come back, which makes you not want to include them in your life, right?
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
So it's want power rather than willpower.
Yep.
Thanks for sharing, my lovelies. It wasn't my intention to have two previous students, but it's been a lovely share. So thank you. And if anybody else would like to share, please do. I'm going to move on, share my screen again. Where's that window gone? Audience window. I'll run through these a little bit quickly. So just have a little think about how that affects your personal life. But having that low energy, the joint pain, the stiffness, all the symptoms, if you're feeling heavier than you would like to, if you're feeling low on self-care because you're not prioritizing your health, how does that impact your family life, your enjoyment of life? Do you find yourself constantly waiting? I'll do that when I feel healthier. I do that when I got more energy. I'll sort out my sleep and then we'll do it. Then we'll have that holiday. And for those of you who work or run your own businesses or whatever, how does it impact you? Does it help you? How do you feel when you need to show up as your best self? Do you find yourself comparing yourself to other people, maybe especially when there's professional photographs involved, or you're on Zoom? Do you sometimes hide yourself, up to there? And what kind of energy and motivation do you have to carry out your work and and build your business? And do you find yourself dependent upon coffee and sweet treats in the afternoon to get you through the day? So have a little think about that, how it's impacting your life, your work, and everything that is meaningful to you in your life. And then question 2 in your workbook is, if you could become the healthiest version of you, what would that do for you? How would you feel? Really tune into how would that feel if you had that energy, if you could release the weight, if that's a goal for you, if you could improve your sleep, if you could get really in control over food and feel empowered to make healthy choices. What difference would that make to your life? And what other areas of your life would improve? Who would like to share? Anybody that hasn't shared so far, like to come on and say? Julie? Do you feel moved to share? You got your microphone on.
No, not really.
That's all right. If you don't want to, that's fine. So if anybody wants to share, just pop something in the chat and I'll come to you. Otherwise, we'll move on. It's a personal journey for everybody. So knowing that we know what feeling healthy could do for us, what is it that holds us back? Is it Halloween treats and cakes on people's birthdays? For me, it was birthday cakes, was a huge one. I was the cake queen. Oh, I would love to show you some of the cakes I made. I did a pool table, a dartboard, Ben 10, you name it, really elaborate cakes. And of course, they were always filled with the most delicious, rich, beautiful ingredients. But I did this every birthday, every family birthday. So, the weight just went on and on and on. And so for me, it was celebration foods. But what is it for you? Just have a think about what it is for you that's holding you back. This is question 3, I believe. Is it compulsive eating? Is it like an emotional eating? Is it that feeling of, I want something lovely. I want some treats. I want to feel comforted. Who sometimes turns to food for comfort? Who sometimes feels they want a reward because they've had a bad day or they've worked really, really hard. Let's reward myself. And reward is important, everybody, and comfort is important. But what do we choose when we reward ourselves? We sometimes choose the least supportive foods, don't we? And what is that all about? It's this again, isn't it? So have a think about what it is that holds you back, holds us back, confusion about well, I want to eat healthier, but I haven't got a clue where to start. Who gets that? That's kind of sense of confusion. There's a lot of conflicting information out there, isn't there? I was certainly confused. I spent 30 years trying to make sense of what it is I'm meant to be doing. I started getting there slowly. And then it was 3 years ago that I realized actually the solution is really simple. It's not the next gimmick. It's not the next diet. It's not the next book. And credit to Tim Spector and Michael Mosley and all those that are teaching us how to eat healthy. Credit to those. I'm a big fan. But actually, it's really, really simple. It's about eating cleaner, more natural, fresh, delicious, real food. So how would it feel to be at peace with food? To feel empowered and to ditch dieting for good? Right. Talk about celebrations, talking about Halloween, Christmas, parties, holidays, all those things. Let's switch our attention to what that looks like for you. Any of these pictures resonating? Oh, Trudy, you did say you were happy to share. I'll come to you and see if you've got some wisdom for us in a moment. What's coming up for you? Maybe Trudy, you'd like to tell us, would you? Is there anything on this screen that you think, oh yeah, that's my go-to?
Oh, definitely, Sue. I mean, those fairy cakes with the hundreds of thousands topping are my ultimate idea of heaven. So yes, and I really get what you're saying about celebration foods. I very much do, and I know that in the past I've eaten emotionally, but I do love getting together with friends, family, celebrating and having lots of goodies. So that's the thing. But I in the past, I've been very good at being able, or rather, I shouldn't say good, rather effective at getting rid of excess pounds with relative ease. If I put my mind to it, it would go. Whereas now I've reached a certain age in my 40s where it feels a bit like my metabolism's going, oh yeah, you think it's going, do you? And it's like, it's really not. And I'm quite curious because sometimes I feel like without even trying, I lose a few pounds. And I don't understand when I've done certain things, had parties, done stuff, I feel lighter. And yet, earlier on in October, I was really trying to consciously lose some weight. Nothing was happening. I stopped trying a couple of weeks ago and thought I'll just eat as healthily as I can. And what you said about the ring test, my rings are feeling like they've got more give. And so for me, I'm here in a spirit of curiosity as to what is going on, that sometimes it just goes and I can't quite fathom why. And other times, no matter what it seems I'm doing, I'm holding on to weight and inflammation. I'm curious.
Yeah, isn't it fascinating?
Mm.
And it's almost impossible to know when our life is full of so many different kinds of foods, some of them natural, because let's face it, we're trying to eat healthy, right? But a lot of them aren't natural. And when we've got a lot of the unnatural foods in there, it's almost impossible to work out what's causing things, because it's not just one thing. So you've just got this blend of things that are causing the problem. And then, and this is, some days are good, some days you feel more bloated. The only way of actually working it out is similarly to what Barbara was saying, is once you're eating clean, completely clean, then you can reintroduce things like, and find out what it is for you that causes you a problem. And that's the only way I know to truly know what's supportive in our body and what's not. And everybody's different.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it's a journey. Thanks for sharing, Trudy. I'll just go back to my screen share. I've just texted my daughter, Ruby, who's going to do the prize draw with all your names. I did a screenshot of your names and I've sent that to Ruby. So let's see if she gets off TikTok long enough to sort that out for us. Let's just go back to my slides and we'll whiz through these. So what treat foods have you enjoyed this autumn? And here's the way I'd like you to think about it. What delicious foods have you truly enjoyed? What food experiences have you had that have felt really conscious and delicious and you really want to include as part in your life? And what foods have you had that felt junky, overindulged, I didn't really want that, felt controlled by the food? Does that make sense? So, it's trying to separate, because we don't want to lose the delicious, conscious food experiences. I've been invited to a kind of VIP event, which is at Raymond Blanc's restaurant, 3 Michelin star. And it's like, boy, am I going to enjoy that. I'm not going to say, is there any sugar in this? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to enjoy it. That's what I call a perfectly conscious gastronomic experience. But what have we had that's like, oh, and I'm just going to have this then? Or, oh, I'm starving, I'm going to grab some toast and jam, or I'm going to just eat these sweets. Oh, and more and more and more. So it's the difference between consciously enjoying good food and just mindlessly putting all kinds of food in our mouths that we're not even thinking about and don't feel great in our bodies as well. So just reflect on that. How do those foods feel when we do have those, whether it's fish and chips because we haven't got anything in. Oh God, fish and chips was my favorite meal, but it was also my most hated feeling, having a whole portion of fish and chips, because you just want to keep eating it. And I just felt so bloated. Charlotte's already shared how she felt with eating the Halloween sweets. How does it feel when you do? How does it feel when you drink too much? Don't need to tell you that. How does it feel? And let's take a conscious look. So let's have a look, thinking ahead now to Christmas and any parties you've got coming up, any family occasions you've got coming up. This is how to think it through, right? And I think this is workbook question 7. Think about the food that doesn't make you feel so good and ask yourself, why is this food part of the occasion? So can anybody think of a food that is part of an occasion that really doesn't make them feel good, or they know they're going to regret it the next day because they're going to feel bloated, heavy, low on energy? If you can think of anything, feel free to shout or pop it in the chat. For me, pork pie. Absolutely. That's a great one. Round the Ellises, my in-laws, Easter means Easter pie, which is a big lasagna full of cheese and pasta. Actually, Easter pie's got pastry on it. It's like a lovely family occasion, and everybody is expected to eat this food, but it doesn't sit well with me. It makes me feel terrible. Christmas pudding. So all these things, they could be considered that lovely gastronomic, delicious food experience that we saw on the one side. But on the other side, they could be, why am I eating this? So I would love you to reflect on whether you want to feel that way or not. And if you don't, is that food a fundamental, non-negotiable part of the occasion? Because what is it we actually want from the occasion? What is it we actually want from Christmas, from our family occasions? Are we all coming together to stuff our faces? Yeah. But what we're really there for is connection, right? We're there to enjoy our family. We're there to enjoy the other human beings. And sometimes I used to find that the food would draw all my attention. It's all about the food. I go to a party, what food is there? And it would be like, oh, there's going to be food. I get all excited about the food. And actually I would forget that actually the food is just there as just, you know, so that you don't get hungry. And actually it's about the human beings. It's about playing. It's about the occasion. It's about connection. So it's worth remembering why you're really there and what you really, really want from it. And then the final question on that slide is, does the food or drink itself, let's take Angela's vanilla slice. Does the vanilla slice actually enhance the joy and connection? Sometimes the answer might be yes. Actually, if we didn't have that particular food, we wouldn't have that lovely experience. But sometimes it's like, well, no, that food is actually not part of the connection at all. We just have it because it's habit, or because it's ritual, or because it's festive, or because we've always done it, right? So it's worth thinking that through. Does the food itself enhance the actual joy and connection of that occasion? Right, so that said, that's doing the mindset work. And you've got to look, you know, take all the time you need to journal on this properly so that you can go through examples for yourself. Once you've thought that through, and if you do think, yeah, made me feel rubbish the last time I had one, absolutely, Angela. Once you reflect, so when you have this Christmas parties and everything that's coming up, don't say to yourself, oh, I can't have that. That would be the worst thing you could do. Because if you tell yourself I can't have it, you'll want it more. But what I want you to do is have it consciously and ask yourself those 3 questions. Because you might just find that actually you don't want it at all. Thank you, Jill. What healthy swaps can you make, ladies? I think we're all ladies. What healthy swaps can you make? We have got party food. Now look, delicious bowl of salad, fruit salad there. Yeah, so if you ever bring food for a party, bring a lovely, brightly coloured fruit salad. What about a Greek salad? What about a delicious bowl of roasted veg? What else is in that picture there? Oh, there's a bit of salmon. Lovely party food, salmon. Tomatoes. We've got some olives. It could be hummus and, you know, crudités. Yeah, so there's lots and lots of lovely foods you can bring and have at a festive table. And my food swap slide, I'm not going to stop the share and share, but I've got things like crisps. You can swap those for roasted vegetables. So you could bring like roasted parsnips that are roasted to a crisp. They make lovely crisps. Chips. Well, chips can be just swapped for sweet potato wedges. Sweet potato wedges are a marvelous food. So there's lots of things that you can think of, and if you want any help at all with healthy swaps, ask me. And the best place to ask me is in the group. We've got a free group for anybody that's not in it. It's called Eat Well, Feel Great, Live Life to the Full. And it's in the back of your workbook. That's a great place to talk about healthy swaps. But certainly, no matter how much party food there's going to be somewhere, I will always bring something that's delicious that I like a delicious Greek salad or a tray of lovely roasted vegetables. So what would that experience look like if you could make those healthy swaps and have that consciousness around you about your next food event? Think it through. How would it look? How would it taste? How would you feel at the occasion? Would you feel more connected? Would you feel more conscious? Would you feel more in control? How would you feel the next day compared to how you tend to feel afterwards normally? And then there's another thing, especially for those of us with kids, not just kids, but family members who really could use some guidance. What example are we setting if we start to bring healthier food swaps? So, my darlings, we're coming to the hour. Steps you can take right away. Have a look at the last sheet on your workbook, there's some boxes that you can tick to make a commitment to yourself. Is it healthy swaps? Is it drinking more water? Is it tuning in, consciousness, tuning into the experience? Have a little, tick some boxes, make a commitment to yourself, and let me know how you're getting on with that commitment. Okay, just one thing at a time. Don't try and do everything all at once. And so let's just see if Ruby's there with the prize draw. Right, so she's read it, so she'll come down in a sec. Let me just give her a quick ring. So I'm just going to briefly mention the program that Barbara's mentioned and Charlotte, which is my Eat Well, Feel Great 90-day challenge. Come on, Rubes, answer the phone. Bring me this prize draw. We might run on about five minutes, ladies. Could you bring down the prize draw, please, my darling? I'll bring it down. Thank you. She's a diamond. Did anyone see that pumpkin she did? I shared it on Facebook. Oh my God, it's the Death Star out of Star Wars. Have a look. It's amazing. She's so talented. So my Eat Well, Feel Great 90-day health transformation. If any of you are interested in not just doing playing with this and seeing how it goes, but actually sorting this out in 90 days. It's about getting properly nourished. It's not dieting. It's about positive psychology. It's about one step at a time, but that's over 13 weeks. 13 steps, 13 weeks. Accountability, real foods, family foods. When you're coaching with me, family is the heart of my coaching. Here's the thing that causes the want power rather than the willpower is that every time you make a change, you feel better. I'm going to ask Charlotte and Barbara, give me a thumbs up if that's correct. With every change you make in general, you end up feeling better. And so because of that, you want to keep those changes. That's how it works, which is very, very different from dieting. And you'll never go hungry because we don't agree with starving yourself to weight loss. And you certainly can't starve your way to health. So weight is released very naturally. And my next slide, the typical benefits, there are 6, there are many, many more. Energy is top. Weight release, average is 21 pounds, but typically it could be from 14 to about 36 pounds in 90 days. But the 90 days is not the end of your journey. The 90 days is the training program. Charlotte's coming back in again. The 90 days is the training program for how to do this for the rest of your life, right? It's not just the 90 days. This is about creating yourself a lifestyle that feels completely supportive so that you are completely in control of your weight and your health. We always see weight loss. We always see reduction in joint pain and stiffness for anybody that experiences that. We always see an improvement in digestive conditions. And we always see all these things. A healthier, more conscious relationship with food. What it's not a diet, it's not a detox, it's not a short-term fix. You could think of it as detox, actually, because it's a reset. Absolutely, it's a gut reset. No calorie counting, no limiting fats, no limiting portion sizes, no workouts, no special foods or products to buy. And it's impossible to fail because it's a coached program. And with me as your coach, you just all you've got to do is the best you can. And if you ever have a deviation from the plan, I didn't really follow it this week, I'll go, well, that's fine. What did you do? Positive spin on everything. Impossible to fail. Nobody's ever failed. Some people have stopped showing up. So as long as you show up, you will not fail. I guarantee it. There's a few of my graduates. Barbara is in there. Charlotte is in there. There were many, many more than this. But these are the ones in this particular screenshot who all gave me their permission to share. Helen is in there. So, it's not all about weight. We got shape for Mel, and actually Mel, top right, joint pain and stiffness, gone. Massive digestive issues, IBS kind of issues, gone. As long as she stays eating the way is right for her. And lots of weight release as well. As I said, average is 21. I'm going to skip past the next. Karen's got an amazing story. Drew's got an amazing story. But here's the offer that I promised you. which is my next class starts on the 27th, which is 4 weeks, Monday, 4 weeks Monday. And you'll be feeling healthier and lighter by January, but it completes at the end of February, like the 3rd week in Feb. And I always love to do a little fast acting bonus for those of you who attend the workshop and to say thank you. If anybody is kind of interested, but you're not sure, the best thing to do is to just book a call with me. You can either do that QR code, scan it with your phone, or just ask me. And I'll also put the link in the chat now. You'll also be sent it by email. If you book a call with me to discuss whether this is right for you, and we'll talk about the pricing options and the logistics and all that, book it with me before Sunday. Doesn't matter when the call is, it can be next week. I've got a few slots before then. But as long as you book the call with me before Sunday, then I'll mark you down as somebody who is qualified for the bonus. And the bonus is you get 2 VIP coaching sessions to support you on your journey. Is that clear, everybody, what that bonus is? That would normally be worth £199, but I will gift you that for taking fast action. And now we need our prize draw. Right, so let me stop share and see where this teenager is. Bear with me. Right. There'll be a slight delay in proceedings while I take questions. So, my darlings, any questions on food swaps? Any questions on the program? Any questions on anything I've said so far? Anything coming up for you? Anything? Any insights? You know, what's shifted for you this evening? Jill, anything for you?
I would have to say just the knowledge that dieting isn't the way forward. I think we kind of knew that because, well, I for one have tried many and it doesn't work. So just the knowledge, the added knowledge that this program gives, it's an education.
That dieting isn't the answer, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Jill. Denise, do participants in your program use trackers to count macros? No, there's no need at all. Some people like to, but that's not what I coach. It's just about eating clean, natural foods, you know, and just making those healthy swaps one at a time. Right, if Ruby doesn't hurry up with this prize draw, because I don't want to keep you hanging on. I can see her running around at the house, but if she doesn't get down here in time, because I know she's got to take the pieces of paper. In fact, she's probably looking for a hat. What I will do is I'll get Ruby to do that. We'll film it. I'll get Ruby to do the prize draw, and I'll send out the prize to the lucky winner. But it looks like she might be running down the path right now. It's the first time I've ever done this, so bear with me. Hi, Rubes. Have you got the names? Great, here she comes. We're just about to finish, Rubes. Should we do it in a basket? Oh, you had to hand make one for Barbara. That's why there was a delay. I had to make sure that Barbara was in there.
There were 12 names, and only 11.
Okay, so we've got all the names in there now. In the basket. All the names in the basket. Ooh. Right, Rubes, would you like to pick one? Our lucky winner is
Claire Payne.
Claire Payne. It's Claire Payne. Claire's here. Claire, you've won a prize. Congratulations, Claire. And the prizes are 1 hour with me. So, my darlings, thank you so much for showing up live and playing the game with me and having a little bit of fun. I'm here for you to answer any questions. And if you are interested in doing the program, book a call. And if you're not ready for that right now, that's absolutely fine. I hope to see you in my free group. And lots of love to you all. And I hope you have a lovely, lovely festive season.
Thanks, Sue.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.